Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonso. Today we will be discussing the wines of Antiquity. However, before we begin, just a reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. When we think of Old World wines, the wines of Greece and Rome immediately come to mind. Granted, the Greeks have been making wine for some 6,500 years. There is archaeological evidence to confirm that Greece is home to the third oldest viticultural region in the world. Since ancient times, the wine trade was quite extensive, and Greece was a primary force responsible for wine's popularity throughout the Mediterranean world. The ancient Greeks saw wine as a staple of domestic life and a viable economic trade commodity. They were eager to spread the wine trade throughout the regions under their influence. This resulted in the Greeks bringing their indigenous grapevines to their colonies in Italy, Sicily, southern France, and Spain. Within these regions, the Greek vines thrived, and wine production continued to grow in popularity. Greek wine was preferred by the Romans and eventually became the prestige wine of the Roman Empire. However, did you know that Persia has been producing wine some 7,000 years? Pottery discovered at archaeological digs, verified through chemical analysis of pottery vessels, scientists have determined that Persia is the second oldest wine-producing region in the world. Wine indeed had a significant presence in the daily lives of the Persians. Not only were the ancient Persians fond of wine, it was quite popular throughout their empire and widely consumed. Where then was wine first produced? Today's Republic of Georgia has long been acknowledged as the birthplace of wine. The Kartvelians, as the Georgian people refer to themselves, have been cultivating grapes and producing wine for more than 8,000 years. Georgia, you query? Where is Georgia? This is Antiquity's land of Colchis and Iberia. Ancient peoples believed the kingdom of Colchis to be the home of the fabled Golden Fleece. Why Georgia? The fertile valleys and protective slopes of the Transcaucasia were the perfect home for grapevine cultivation and Neolithic wine production. Due to the many millennia of wine in Georgian history and its prominent economic role, the traditions of wine are considered to be entwined with and inseparable from the national identity. Georgians are quick to share an interesting tale about how they ended up with the best possible land to grow grapes and make wine. When the gods descended from the heavens and assembled the peoples of the world, their aim was to assign land to the various groups to make their homes. Everyone came except the Georgians. They were not only busy making wine, they were also enjoying the fruits of their labor. When at length they did arrive, the gods informed the Georgians that all of the available land had been designated. All that was left was the land that the gods had reserved for themselves. When asked why they did not show up on time, the Georgians explained that they were busy making wine. The gods queried, "What is so special about your wine?" However, once the gods tasted the wine, they realized that it was ambrosia, a drink befitting of the gods. So pleased, the gods were quick to give the land that they had reserved for themselves to the Georgians, upon the condition that they promised to continue making wine. The roots of Georgian viticulture have been traced back by archaeology to when people of the South Caucasus discovered that wild grape juice turned into wine when it was left buried through the winter in a shallow pit. The juice was stored in clay vessels lined with beeswax known as quarry. To protect the juice as it was fermenting, the quarries were topped with a wooden lid and sealed. A common belief with the local winemakers is that with this technique, it is safe to store wine for as much as 50 years. From the Carpathian Mountains to the Aegean Sea is the land of Thrace, modern-day Bulgaria. The wealth of Thrace came from its abundance of gold and silver found in the mountain of Rhodopis. The Thracians were renowned for their workmanship in crafting exquisite gold and silver jewelry, drinking vessels, and ornamental masks. Apart from gold and silver, Thracians were also acclaimed for their wines. According to Homer, the Greek heroes were especially fond of the sweet wines produced by the Thracians. Wine also played a vital role in Thrace and accompanied the people throughout their lives. Wine was integral with celebrating birth, death, and all rituals that connected humans to the gods. It is interesting to note that the Hellenistic authors saw the Thracians as drunken barbarians. Why, you ask? Thracians were fond of consuming non-diluted wine. In the Greek world, it was fashionable for civilized people to drink their wine diluted with water. However, it was ancient Rome that played a pivotal role in the history of wine. The earliest influence of viticulture on the Italian peninsula can be traced to the ancient Greeks and the Etruscans. Etruria is today's Tuscany. The rise of the Roman Empire saw both technological advances and a burgeoning awareness of winemaking, which spread to all parts of the empire. The Romans believed that wine was a daily necessity and saw to it that the drink was offered in various forms. Wine was made accessible to slaves, peasants, aristocrats, men and women alike. To ensure a steady supply of wine to Roman soldiers and colonists, viticulture and wine production spread rapidly through the empire. The economic opportunities presented by trading wine quickly drew merchants to the business and further expanded the trade. The works of Roman writers, most notably Cato, Columella, Horace, Catullus, Palladius, Pliny, Varro, and Virgil, have provided insight to the role played by wine in Roman culture, as well as contemporary understanding of winemaking and viticultural practices. Many of the techniques and principles first developed in ancient Rome can still be found in modern winemaking. In conclusion, Rome's influence had a profound effect on the histories of today's major winemaking regions in France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. In Part 2 of the Wines of Antiquity, we will take a look at your questions and comments. As a reminder, we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also posted our email address and Instagram information. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Traveler's Tales. Cartistos.